In school, you probably learned about the Pythagorean theorem. I know, what kind of way is that to start a video? Most of you already probably clicked off. But that's okay, because you guys remaining are the real learners. The Pythagorean theorem is a geometric theorem that states the sum of the squares on the sides of a right triangle is equal to the square of the hypotenuse. You have no idea how long it took me to say that. But in short, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. In the same way, in a deck of playing cards, there is an interesting relationship between the squares of numbers. Listen, I know you didn't expect a math lesson today, but it'll be worth it. What up, crew? It is Magic Monday, and this is your place to learn Magic, master your performance, and captivate audiences. If you're joining me for the first time, hey there, my name is Vineet, and I go by CardMechanic here on YouTube. The card trick that I'm about to share with you today requires absolutely zero skill, talent, or even practice. If you have a deck of cards within reach, you can grab it and do this right now. But before you pick up that deck, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe, and now, let's do this. Like I was saying before, there's an interesting relationship between the squares of numbers in a deck of playing cards, similarly to the Pythagorean theorem, where we have the square of the sum of the sides is equal to the square of the hypotenuse, so like 3 squared plus 4 squared equals 5 squared. But new square relationships are constantly being discovered. The square relationship I'm about to share with you now was discovered not too long ago by a nuclear physicist, alright? So you may or may not believe me, but it has to do with the square of the numbers 1, 2, and 3. And I can visually demonstrate this with a deck of playing cards. So, if a spectator were here, I'd ask them to cut the deck as many times as they want, and wherever they want, they can just go ahead and stop. Now, the squares of the numbers 1, 2, and 3, the square of 1 is 1, so we're going to put 1 card down for that. The square of 2 is 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4, count 4 cards, put them here. And the square of 3 is 9, so we'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now check this out, this is actually pretty cool. Now, the way this relationship works is if we take a look at the bottom card here of the 4 pile, and the bottom card here of the 9 pile, so the 2 squared and the 4 squared, we get a 6 of spades and the 7 of diamonds. Now, the relationship exists that the first card actually shares the similar suit to the 2 squared pile and the similar value to the 4 squared pile. So we have spade and diamond, we have spade and 7, so this card should be the 7 of spades. Isn't that pretty cool? Watch. This not only happens once, but it happens every single time. We'll try this out one more time. Cut the deck in a different location. Let's say right around here. Again, we'll do 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We'll do the exact same thing. Check this out. We're gonna have a spade with a value of ace. So this card right here will be the ace of spades. Alright, my friends, welcome to the tutorial. Just to give you some background on this effect, it is known as Square by Temple Patent, and there's a super secret that goes into doing this trick. Can you guess what it is? I'll give you a few seconds. And time up. The answer is a card stack, and in particular, the Cy-Stebbins stack. For those of you who are familiar with a Cy-Stebbins stack, you can probably just click off this video now because it's over. It's all over. But seriously, if you already know the Cy-Stebbins stack, you're pretty much all set because this trick is purely based on how you build it up from the beginning and then how you do the reveal at the end. So you can stick around for that as I talk through that later on. But real quick, the Cy-Stebbins stack is an order that you put the cards in. I'll put the full order down in the description below, but it's just a way to stack the deck in an order that you remember. So the deck is in a cyclic stack order, so the cards are constantly repeating while the suits are changing. And the suits go in a chased order, so it's clubs, hearts, spades, and diamonds. So in short, that is the Cy-Stebbins stack, and I have a video on it. I'll put the link on the screen. You can go ahead and check it out for more details. Now, let's talk a little bit more about the performance of this trick and break it down. As I mentioned, of course, we have the cards in the Cy-Stebbins stack order. Once the cards are in that order, you're ready to perform, you pull out the deck of playing cards. What I usually like to do is give the deck a completely false shuffle or a couple of false cuts. Now, I have a video on how to do a complete deck false shuffle, which I did in my performance. I'll put the link to that on the screen as well. I think it really adds a lot to your effect in showing the spectator the cards are not in any specific order. And what I also like to do in these kinds of tricks, to almost showcase that the cards are not, in any prearranged order, I also just like to do a quick front riffle, right? So if I just do a quick front riffle, then you can kind of see like, okay, these cards look completely normal. And even if you do something like this real quick where you show off the cards, they look completely normal. One thing I would not recommend doing is flipping over the deck and saying, look at the cards, they're in random order. That's weird. but just some sort of subtle hint that there's no way the cards are prearranged. So once that's done, you kind of want to walk through the story of what I kind of just did. I talk about the relationship of squares within the worlds, right? So they're constantly new square relationships being discovered. You can talk about the Pythagorean theorem like I just did in my performance. So you can kind of watch my performance to get, I guess, insights or ideas on how to go about performing this. So once you've done that kind of build up saying there are these square relationships, and it kind of also transfers over to a deck of playing cards. And now here I can demonstrate that relationship. So you're almost using this as a demonstration with the spectator versus a pure card trick. All right, so now you've built up some level of performance and you're showing this as a demonstration. You want to put the deck down on the table and allow the spectator to give the deck as many cuts as they'd like. And of course, these have to be single cuts because since this is a cyclic stack, that means the order is almost in a repeating fashion. If you give the deck, regardless how many cuts you give it, the sequence will not change. So you give it a couple of cuts here and there. And just because of how these cards are kind of related to each other, the relationship that the size 7 stack deck, I can't say this too much. The relationship that these playing cards have within each other in this stack, it just works out super nicely. So you ask the spectator, and the spectator can do this in their hands. So I think that would be a much more powerful demonstration. If they give the deck a cut, you can put the deck down and just give them instructions. So put the deck down, give them a couple of cuts, and then you tell the spectator to take the top card and deal it down, right? So you're showing the relationship between 1 squared, 2 squared, and 3 squared, which is 1, 4, and 9. So you ask the spectator to deal off 1 card, and then you want to tell him to count the square of 2, right? You don't want to tell him to deal 2 squared cards, or you don't want to tell him to deal 4 cards, because if the people deal, they're going to deal in an inverse order. But you want the cards to stay in the same exact order, so you tell him to count off 4 cards, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and put those down. And do the exact same thing for 3 squared, which is 9, count 9 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, put that down as well. And you can put the rest of the deck over to the side. Now you can tell a spectator that all these cards, these squares, have a certain relationship. The first, the square of 2, will tell you the suit of the playing card, that's 1 square, the card that's right here. And the next one will tell you the value of that card, which is a 4. So if you take a look, this card will be the 4 of diamonds. Insane. And now what I really love about this trick is that you can take the deck right back, take the pile of 9, put it on top, take the pile of 4, put it on top, take the single card, put it on top, give the deck a cut, and you can literally repeat the exact same process, 9, and it'll still work, which is great. It just resets completely. Even though it's a setup trick, it resets completely. So now you'll get the 3 of hearts, and there it is, the 3 of hearts. It's just such a nice trick. It's crazy all the things you can do with the deck of playing cards when it's stacked up. The deck order looks completely random to a layman, and yet it's an order that you're familiar with. Insane. If you want to continue learning about card stack and the size 7 stack in specific, make sure to check out that video right over there. It is the first card stack that I ever learned, and I think it'll definitely be worth it. That's all I got. Thanks so much for watching. As always, it's a pleasure having you here. Have a great day ahead, and hope to see you in that video.